Hey guys, good, the bad, the unusual. Got three little films I want to talk about. I've been watching a lot of good films lately, and not too many bad ones. So my format is a little bit jacked up, but these three definitely deserve being talked about. So I'm just gonna jump in, knock them all out. All right, my good choice is something that I've wanted to see for about a year now, and I finally got a hold of it, and it's called The Abandoned. All right, this is the two-disc French release for the film. It has a lot of awesome extra features and like documentaries, interviews with the director, all kinds of other stuff that I really wanted that is not in the one-disc release. But I'll show you the inside here. Very cool release for the film. Anyway, the film is directed by I believe his name is Nacho Cedar. Anyway, he's the director of Aftermath and Genesis, which are both short films, kind of notorious. Unearthed Films released them. I really enjoyed them. I liked them a lot. And I had seen and read some stuff about the director, and I had always been interested in finding out more about him and some of his other stuff, but he really hasn't done a lot of films. Now, this was written by Karim Hussein, which, if you don't know, I'm a huge, huge fan of. He directed one of my all-time favorite movies, Subconscious Cruelty, but he's also done some other films. Most recently, I believe, working on Hobo with a Shotgun. He was the cinematographer for that film, but he wrote this film. And basically, it just pays homage to a lot of horror films. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about the movie itself now, because I believe a lot of people would like it if they knew about it. It's about a woman who's from Russia. She moves away from Russia when she's a child. She goes back because she receives the deed to her family's house. She goes back out to this house. She basically crosses a bridge onto a small island where the house is. The bridge disappears, kind of like The Evil Dead. It kind of just disappears. And she gets stuck in the house, and no matter which way she runs, she always ends up right back at the house. Now, when I watched all the special features and the director talking about the film and whatnot, he mentions that he basically just pays homage to a bunch of films, The Evil Dead being one of them. In the Mouth of Madness, the fact that she's stuck there and no matter which way she goes, she always ends up right back at the house. There's basically these two zombies. Now, they're not really zombies, but the whole time they just reminded me of zombies. And one of them is a female who's blonde, who has really glassy eyeballs, and it looks exactly like the chick from The Beyond, the Lucio Fulci horror flick. And he mentions that she was supposed to. And there's another guy who's kind of eaten up, and he just looks really just gory. And it looks like The Dead Next Door. If you ever look at the cover art for that, he looks just like that. And again, the director talks about that and how he just took all these different elements from films that have inspired him over the years. Anyway, it's an excellent film. I'm not going to ruin the story. I'm not going to tell you much about the story because it's one of those ones that you just got to see. It's completely amazing, and it comes highly recommended from me. It is also refreshing to see a horror movie again, because I haven't really been watching a whole lot of horror. Most recently, I've been into more of art house stuff. I've been watching a lot of Polish and Russian films, and the fact that this also was filmed in Russia and the Russian is one of the spoken languages in the film kind of made me more interested as well. But it's an excellent horror film, and I was definitely glad to get back into the horror genre again. So that is The Abandoned. I believe there's an American release. I'm not 100% because the cover art's different, so I'm not sure if it's the same film. But again, it's very, very highly recommended from me. It's got two excellent, creative, inspiring individuals that worked on the film. I really loved it. All right, next up, we got a bad. This is something that, again, I've wanted to see this for years, and this is some art house stuff. It is called Districted. All right, it's a series of short films. I believe there's 8 or 9 of them, and they're all from different directors who are pretty notable directors. Larry Clark did one. Larry Clark filmed Kids, Gumo, Bully, Ken Park. He's done a lot of films, and if you don't know, all of those are themed towards teenagers gone bad, I guess. That's kind of like his style. He's a good director, and I've enjoyed all of his films, but his short film was bad. And all of these are very sexually explicit art house short films. That was like what the compilation is. I didn't like any of them except for one, and I'll talk about the one that I liked. most of them are just like vulgar, borderline porn, but like you could tell that they kind of wanted it to be creative when they did it, but it's just like shitty porn, in all honesty. All right, so Larry Clark did one. Jasper Noel did one. He directed Irreversible, Into the Void, I Stand Alone. I'm sure he's done other ones, but those are the three that I've seen by him. His was a huge letdown because I just watched Into the Void recently, and I loved that movie. That was his best work yet. Incredibly perfect film. But then watching this short film was like, dude, what the hell were you thinking? Anyway, Matthew Barney did one. Matthew Barney, again, another person who I think is just awesome. He did the Cremaster Cycle and the Drawing Restraint films. I don't know what the fuck this was. I really don't. And then there's a few others. Some of the other directors are artists. They do painting, sculpting, like high-end art stuff, so I don't know near as much about them. I try to get into the art house films and the art house like genre and scene, but whenever I make videos or talk about that stuff, like I used to have one for the Cremaster Cycle, I used to have one for Zulawski's films up, and other art house directors, but then I get like that crowd of guys, people that are just into that stuff, and they always send me messages like, hey, you got your facts all wrong, blah, 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 blah. He studied at this university, and he did, pottery for this, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't really care, I like film, and that's really it. I don't like limits and boundaries, but the high-class, artsy, ritzy guys, and the ones that try to branch off and do films, which sometimes are incredible, and sometimes, like a bunch of these, is just boring, pretentious crap. I'm not into it, and I hate the people that watch those videos, and I hate when they fucking leave comments about how I'm stupid and don't know where Zulawski was from or whatever. It's just, I don't care. That crap kind of pisses me off, though. All right, anyway, that was Districted, short film collection. I thought it was going to be incredible. There's really only one that I liked, and it was by a director I had never heard of, Tunga, and I think it's the only film they ever did. But basically, it's about a girl who like eats different colored glitter. Really weird. Never seen anything like it though. It's pretty cool. All right, lastly, unusual. I'm not a huge steelbook collector. I take that back. I have quite a bit of steelbooks, but I've really gotten out of it. Over the last like 6 months, I've probably only bought very few, just because they're always so expensive now, and a lot of them are just DVDs, and I like getting the movies on Blu-ray now, so I've kind of backed off of the steelbooks, especially the DVD steelbooks, a lot lately. But when I saw this one, when I found out that it existed, I knew I needed to have it, and I don't really care if the film comes out on Blu-ray, because it's probably not going to look a whole lot better on Blu-ray, but it's Street Trash. If you don't know, it's kind of an 80s cheesy body melt, Slime City style horror film. Low budget greatness. I absolutely love the film. It's silly, funny. It's something that, like, trauma worthy, if you would. I believe in America it's released under the Synapse label. But they did a short run of these steelbooks. There was 999, and they're numbered on the back here. This one is number 790 out of 999. Excellent steelbook. It's a 2-disc thing. I really like the cover art, and the inside here looks really good too. It was just, something that I couldn't pass up. I did not own the film either. I was, like, sometimes I'm always hesitant to rebuy a film in steelbook when I already own it, and I know it's like, yeah, the steelbook is expensive. I already have the film. Do I really want to buy another copy? Well, I didn't have this film at all, so it was kind of like a no-brainer. But guys, that's it for me. That was my good, my bad, and my unusual. Look forward to hearing from you guys. Again, I try and get on here as much as I can, but everything's crazy right now. Life is crazy, you know what I mean? All right, guys, I hope everyone's doing well. And as always, take it easy, guys.